Numbers. The book of Numbers continues the history of the people of Israel after they escaped from Egypt, and it tells what happened during the 40 years when the Israelites lived in the desert on their journey from Mount Sinai to Canaan. This book is named Numbers because it begins with Moses counting the Israelites to find out the number of people in each of Israel's 12 tribes. Numbers can be divided into three parts. In the first part, the Lord tells Moses to count the people, and then he gives Moses instructions for setting up Israel's camp and for assigning the Levites their duties. This part ends with everyone celebrating Passover and offering sacrifices to the Lord. The second part includes events that happened while the Israelites were on their way to Moab, a nation living east of the river Jordan. This was a very difficult journey through the desert, and the people often complained and even rebelled against Moses and against God. The Israelites refused to enter Canaan after hearing about the nations that lived there, and so the Lord punished the Israelites by making them remain in the desert for 40 years. This part of Numbers ends with the people camped in Moab near Mount Pisgah. The third part of the book begins with the Israelites conquering the land just east of the river Jordan, from the border with Moab in the south to Lake Galilee in the north. Then the king of Moab hired the foreign prophet Balaam to curse the people of Israel. But the Lord told Balaam to bless the Israelites, and Balaam obeyed. The Israelites prepared to cross the river Jordan and conquer the land of Canaan. Although some of the people decided to settle east of the Jordan, the Israelites were counted a second time. Then the Lord appointed Joshua to be Israel's next leader and chose other leaders to help Joshua divide the land among the tribes. The book concludes with the Lord giving the Israelites more laws. Numbers is about people who were rebellious and discouraged and who refused to believe that the Lord would take care of them. But the book also shows how the Lord protected them in war and gave them food and water in the barren desert. The Lord wanted the Israelites to realize that He did not want them to be destroyed. He wanted to bless them, just as Aaron prayed. I pray that the Lord will bless and protect you, and that He will show you mercy and kindness. May the Lord be good to you and give you peace. Chapter 6, 24 to 26. The people of Israel are counted. Chapter 1. The people of Israel had left Egypt and were living in the Sinai desert. Then, on the first day of the second month of the second year, Moses was in the sacred tent when the Lord said, I want you and Aaron to find out how many people are in each of Israel's clans and families, and make a list of all the men 20 years and older who are able to fight in battle. The following 12 family leaders, one from each tribe, will help you. Elizur, son of Shedeur from Reuben. Shelumiel, son of Jurishadai, from Simeon. Nahshon, son of Aminadab, from Judah. Nathanael, son of Zuar, from Issachar. Eliab, son of Helon, from Zebulun. Elishama, son of Amihu, from Ephraim. Gamaliel, son of Pedazur, from Manasseh. Abidan, son of Gideoni, from Benjamin. Ahiezer, son of Ammishaddai, from Dan. Pagiel, son of Okran, from Asher. Eliasaph, son of Deuel, from Gad. And Ahira, son of Enan, from Naphtali. Moses and Aaron, together with these 12 tribal leaders, called together the people the same day. They were counted according to their clans and families. Then Moses and the others listed the names of the men 20 years and older, just as the Lord had commanded. The number of men from each tribe who were at least 20 years old and strong enough to fight in Israel's army was as follows: 46,500 from Reuben, the eldest son of Jacob; 59,300 from Simeon; 45,650 from Gad; 74,600 from Judah; 54,400 from Issachar; 57,400 from Zebulun; 40,500 from Ephraim; 32,200 from Manasseh; 35,400 from Benjamin; 62,700 from Dan; 41,500 from Asher; 53,400 from Naphtali. The total number of men registered by Moses, Aaron, and the 12 leaders was 603,550. But those from the Levi tribe were not included, because the Lord had said to Moses, "When you count the Israelites, do not include those from the Levi tribe. Instead, give them the job of caring for the sacred tent, its furnishings, and the objects used for worship. They will camp around the tent, and whenever you move, they will take it down, carry it to the new camp, and set it up again. Anyone else who tries to go near it must be put to death. The rest of the Israelites will camp in their own groups and under their own banners, but the Levites will camp around the sacred tent to make sure that no one goes near it, and makes me furious with the Israelites." The people of Israel did everything the Lord had commanded. Chapter 2, Instructions for setting up Israel's camp. The Lord told Moses and Aaron how the Israelites should arrange their camp. Each tribe must set up camp under its own banner and under the flags of its ancestral families. These camps will be arranged around the sacred tent, but not close to it. Judah and the tribes that march with it must set up camp on the east side of the sacred tent under their own banner. The 74,600 troops of the tribe of Judah will be arranged by divisions and led by Nahshon, son of Amminadab. On one side of Judah will be the tribe of Issachar, with Nethanel, son of Zuar, as the leader of its 54,400 troops. On the other side will be the tribe of Zebulun, with Eliab, son of Helon, as the leader of its 57,400 troops. These 186,400 troops will march into battle first. Reuben and the tribes that march with it must set up camp on the south side of the sacred tent under their own banner. The 46,500 troops of the tribe of Reuben will be arranged by divisions and led by Elizur, son of Shedeur. On one side of Reuben will be the tribe of Simeon, with Shelumiel, son of Zurishaddai, as the leader of its 59,300 troops. On the other side will be the tribe of Gad, with Eliashab, son of Deuel, as the leader of its 45,650 troops. These 151,450 troops will march into battle second. Marching behind Reuben will be the Levites, arranged in groups just as they are camped. They will carry the sacred tent and their own banners. Ephraim and the tribes that march with it must set up camp on the west side of the sacred tent under their own banner. The 40,500 troops of the tribe of Ephraim will be arranged by divisions and led by Elishama, son of Ammihud. On one side of Ephraim will be the tribe of Manasseh, with Gamaliel, son of Pedasur, as the leader of its 32,200 troops. On the other side will be the tribe of Benjamin, with Abidan, son of Gideoni, as the leader of its 35,400 troops. These 108,100 troops will march into battle third. Dan and the tribes that march with it must set up camp on the north side of the sacred tent under their own banner. the 62,700 troops of the tribe of Dan will be arranged by divisions and led by Ahiezer, son of Ammishaddai. On one side of Dan will be the tribe of Asher, with Pagiel, son of Okran, as the leader of its 41,500 troops. On the other side will be the tribe of Naphtali, with Ahira, son of Enan, as the leader of its 53,400 troops. These 157,600 troops will march into battle last. So all the Israelites in the camp were counted according to their ancestral families. The troops were arranged by divisions and totaled 603,550. The only Israelites not included were the Levites, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Israel did everything the Lord had told Moses. They arranged their camp according to clans and families, with each tribe under its own banner, and that was the order by which they marched into battle. Chapter 3. The sons of Aaron. When the Lord talked with Moses on Mount Sinai, Aaron's four sons, Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar, were the ones to be ordained as priests. But the Lord killed Nadab and Abihu in the Sinai desert, when they used the fire that was unacceptable in their offering to the Lord. And because Nadab and Abihu had no sons, only Eleazar and Ithamar served as priests with their father Aaron. The duties of the Levites. The Lord said to Moses, "Assign the Levite tribe to Aaron the priest. They will be his assistants and will work at the sacred tent for him and for all the Israelites. The Levites will serve the community by being responsible for the furnishings of the tent. They are assigned to help Aaron and his sons, who have been appointed to be priests. Anyone else who tries to perform the duties of a priest must be put to death. Moses, I have chosen these Levites from all Israel, and they will belong to me in a special way. When I killed the firstborn sons of the Egyptians, I decided that the firstborn sons in every Israelite family and the firstborn males of their flocks and herds would be mine. But now I accept these Levites in place of the firstborn sons of the Israelites. The Levites are counted. In the Sinai desert, the Lord said to Moses, "Now I want you to count the men and boys in the Levi tribe by families and by clans. Include everyone at least a month old." So Moses obeyed and counted them. Levi's three sons, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari, had become the heads of their own clans. Gershon's sons were Libni and Shimei. Kohath's sons were Amram, Izahar, Hebron, and Uzziel. And Merari's sons were Mali and Mushi. These were the sons and grandsons of Levi, and they had become the leaders of the Levite clans. The two Gershon clans were the Libnites and Shimeites, and they had 7,500 men and boys at least 1 month old. The Gershonites were to camp on the west side of the sacred tent under the leadership of Elisaph, son of Lael. Their duties at the tent included taking care of the tent itself, along with its outer covering, the curtain for the entrance, the curtains hanging inside the courtyard around the tent, as well as the curtain and ropes for the entrance to the courtyard and its altar. The Gershonites were responsible for setting these things up and taking them down. The four Kohath clans were the Amramites, Izharites, Hebronites, and the Uzzielites. They had 8,600 men and boys at least 1 month old. The Kohathites were to camp on the south side of the sacred tent under the leadership of Elizaphan, son of Uzziel. Their duties at the tent included taking care of the sacred chest, the table for the sacred bread, the lampstand, the altars, the objects used for worship, and the curtain in front of the most holy place. The Kohathites were responsible for setting these things up and taking them down. Eleazar, son of Aaron, was the head of the Levite leaders, and he made sure that the work at the sacred tent was done. The two Merari clans were the Mahlites and the Mushites, and they had 6,200 men and boys at least 1 month old. The Merarites were to camp on the north side of the sacred tent under the leadership of Zuriel, son of Abihail. Their duties included taking care of the tent frames and the pieces that held the tent up, the bars, the posts, the stands, and its other equipment. They were also in charge of the posts that supported the courtyard, as well as their stands, tent pegs, and ropes. The Merari clans were responsible for setting these things up and taking them down. Moses, Aaron, and his sons were to camp in front of the sacred tent on the east side and to make sure that the Israelites worshipped in the proper way. Anyone else who tried to do the work of Moses and Aaron was to be put to death. So Moses and Aaron obeyed the Lord and counted the Levites by their clans. The total number of Levites at least 1 month old was 22,000. The Levites are accepted as substitutes for the firstborn sons. The Lord said to Moses, "Make a list and count the firstborn sons at least 1 month old in each of the Israelite families. They belong to me, but I will accept the Levites as substitutes for them, and I will accept the Levites' livestock as substitutes for the Israelites' firstborn livestock." Moses obeyed the Lord and counted the firstborn sons. There were 22,273 of them. Then the Lord said, "The Levites will belong to me and will take the place of the firstborn sons. Their livestock will take the place of the Israelites' firstborn livestock. But since there are more firstborn sons than Levites, the extra 273 men and boys must be bought back from me. For each one, you are to collect 5 pieces of silver weighed according to the official standards. This money must then be given to Aaron and his sons." Moses collected the silver from the extra 273 firstborn men and boys, and it amounted to 1,365 pieces of silver, weighed according to the official standards. Then he gave it to Aaron and his sons just as the Lord had commanded. Chapter 4. The duties of the Kohathite clans. The Lord told Moses and Aaron, "Find out how many men between the ages of 30 and 50 are in the 4 Levites clans of Kohath. Count only those who are able to work at the sacred tent. The Kohathites will be responsible for carrying the sacred objects used in worship at the sacred tent. When the Israelites are ready to move their camp, Aaron and his sons will enter the tent and take down the curtain that separates the sacred chest from the rest of the tent. They will cover the chest with this curtain, and then with a piece of fine leather, and cover it all with a solid blue cloth. After this, they will put the carrying poles in place. Next, Aaron and his sons will use another blue cloth to cover the table for the sacred bread. On the cloth, they will place the dishes, the bowls for incense, the cups, the jugs for wine, as well as the bread itself. They are to cover all of this with a bright red cloth and then with a piece of fine leather before putting the carrying poles in place. With another blue cloth, they will cover the lampstand, along with the lamps, the lamp snuffers, the fire pans, and the jars of oil for the lamps. All of this will then be covered with a piece of fine leather and placed on a carrying frame. The gold incense altar is to be covered with a blue cloth, and then with a piece of fine leather, before its carrying poles are put in place. Next, Aaron and his sons will take blue cloth and wrap all the objects used in worship at the sacred tent. These will need to be covered with a piece of fine leather, then placed on a carrying frame. They are to remove the ashes from the bronze altar and cover it with a purple cloth. On the cloth will be placed the utensils used at the altar, including the fire pans, the meat forks, the shovels, and the sprinkling bowls. All of this will then be covered with a piece of fine leather before the carrying poles are put in place. When the camp is ready to be moved, the Kohathites will be responsible for carrying the sacred objects and the furnishings of the sacred tent. But Aaron and his sons must have already covered those things so the Kohathites won't touch them and die. Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, will be in charge of the oil for the lamps, the sweet-smelling incense, the grain for the sacrifices, and the olive oil used for dedications and ordinations. Eleazar is responsible for seeing that the sacred tent, its furnishings, and the sacred objects are taken care of. The Kohathites must not go near or even look at the sacred objects until Aaron and his sons have covered those objects. If they do, their entire clan will be wiped out. So make sure that Aaron and his sons go into the tent with them and tell them what to carry. The duties of the Gershonite clans. The Lord said to Moses, "Find out how many men between the ages of 30 and 50 are in the two Levite clans of Gershon. Count only those who are able to work at the sacred tent. The Gershonites will be responsible for carrying the curtains of the sacred tent, its two outer coverings, the curtain for the entrance to the tent, the curtains hanging around the courtyard of the tent, and the curtain and ropes for the entrance to the courtyard. The Gershonites are to do whatever needs to be done to take care of these things, and they will carry them wherever Aaron and his sons tell them to. These are the duties of the Gershonites at the sacred tent, and Ithamar, son of Aaron, will make sure they do their work. The duties of the Merarite clans. The Lord said, Moses, find out how many men between 30 and 50 are in the two Levite clans of Merari, but count only those who are able to work at the sacred tent. The Merarites will be responsible for carrying the frames of the tent and its other pieces, including the bars, the posts, the stands, as well as the posts that support the courtyard, together with their stands, tent pegs, and ropes. The Merarites are to be told exactly what objects they are to carry, and Ithamar, son of Aaron, will make sure they do their work. The Levites are counted again. Moses, Aaron, and the other Israelite leaders obeyed the Lord and counted the Levite tribe by families and clans to find out how many men there were between the ages of 30 and 50 who could work at the sacred tent. There were 2,750 Kohathites, 2,630 Gershonites, and 3,200 Merarites, making a total of 8,580. Then they were all assigned their duties.